Welcome back. The Union government has merged the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana that was started in 2020 during COVID with National Food Security Act. After this move, food grain will be made available free of cost to more than 800 million beneficiaries till December 2023 under the National Food Security Act. Also, the government is looking at significant fiscal savings. We're now joined by Siraj Hussain, former Agricultural Secretary. Mr. Hussain, thank you very much for joining us. Explain us and take us through the rationale behind this move. It is almost a given that PMGKY was to end in December this year. What kind of savings, quantum of savings, will this really lead to for the government?
Actually, the government has taken a correct decision not to extend the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana beyond December. And one reason, which I have explained in my article in the print today, is that the government is running short of the stock of food grains in central food. Therefore, really speaking, there was no option but to stop the additional allocations under PMGKY. Now, what is really surprising to many people, including economists, would be the decision to make the food grains totally free.
Right. So when it comes to making the food grains completely free for these beneficiaries under the National Food Security Act for a period of 1 year, what will be the total financial burden to the government, sir? And what does this really mean or leave for the government to do for the agricultural sector, for the farmers in the budget and in other schemes next year?
The farmers are not impacted by this decision because the farmers are able to sell their wheat and rice at the minimum support price fixed by the government. So farmers are not affected. Now, according to my calculations, if the offtake of food grains is of the level of 2021, then the total hit the union government will take will be about 15,000 crores, which is not very high as far as the government finance is concerned. But the thing is that in the run-up to the parliament elections in 2024 May, it will be very difficult for any government, and even the current government, to bring back the central issue price of 2 rupees, 3 rupees, and 1 rupee for maize. Now, I have written in my article that before the enactment of the National Food Security Act, the government was charging much more, 4 rupees and 6 rupees, about 4 rupees and 6 rupees. So now from that we have come to free grains. So that is quite a distance which we have traveled.
Right. And when it comes to continuing the scheme beyond December 2023, do you think the government has enough room, sir?
Actually, that will depend on the level of procurement of rice in the current Kharif marketing season and the procurement of wheat in the next Rabi marketing season, which will begin from April. My own hunch is that if the procurement is good, if the government is able to procure, let us say, 50 million tons of rice and about 40 million tons of wheat, then in all likelihood, the government would like to continue it because the parliament elections would be very close in January 2024.
Right. Also explain us the importance, the significance of two food security schemes being merged into one. This is what the Food Secretary also clarified when the press conference, when the cabinet briefing was on Friday. The two food schemes are being merged into one. PMGKY is coming to end in December.
I do not really agree with that interpretation. In my view, the PMGKY has ended, and NFSA beneficiaries will get it free of cost. So I do not see it as the merging of the two schemes.
Right. You had also argued in your article how some of these funds could be used better. Why do you feel so, and how do you think it could have been used better?
You see, the funds available for mitigating the impact of climate change for research on various crops are meager. And today, Dr. Gulati has written in his article in the Indian Express that there is a need to augment the expenditure on research and development if we really have to show it to the G20 countries that we really mean business as far as the mitigation of impact of climate change is concerned. So, given an option, I would have recommended investment of this additional 15,000 crores in climate resilient technologies, for which ICAR is implementing a project by the name of NIC.
Right. We've run out of time, but Mr. Siraj Hussain, thank you very much for joining us, putting the free food grain scheme under the National Food Security Act, the rationale behind ending PMGKY and coming up with this one food security scheme, which will be in effect till December 2023. Thank you very much for joining us here on News Center. All right, with that, it's a wrap on this edition of the program. Don't go anywhere. News continues on CNBC.